Here's Survivor Chapter 56 New Beginnings. When he arrived for breakfast, she had already sketched 6 scenes and she excitedly showed them to him. He looked at them and he was genuinely impressed. I have a friend who'd be interested in seeing these, he said helpfully. I have to finish them first, she said shyly. She caught a glance of herself in the sparkling glass and she was amazed by the big wide smile on her face. It had been a long time since she looked so happy. He complimented her on her sketches, and she could tell he was sincere. It was wonderful having coffee in the sunshine and watching all the people walk by in their summer clothes. Happy people, she thought. Alf asked her if she wanted to see his apartment, and they set off on foot through the clean, colourful streets. It was too early to hold hands, but she wasn't a toe. They came to his place, and it was a beautiful bungalow surrounded by rose bushes and a crisp green lawn. They walked into the living room and past the massive TV and wall to wall bookshelves. Always a good sign, she thought, a man who reads. This is your room, he said with a smile. As he opened the door, it was a small, comfy room with a single bed, an oak desk, a chair, and a small, half empty bookcase. The walls were painted a faint orange, and it was nice and positive. I like it, she said. How long can I stay? As long as you like, he said, surprising her. Then he hugged her warmly, and she agreed to stay until she'd sold her place in London, and she could use the money to buy her own place in Spain. Come outside, he said warmly. I'll show you the pool. It looked so inviting she was tempted to jump in. I have to be at work in an hour. Are you going to be okay? Of course, I'm a big girl, she said confidently. I can swim and do more sketches. In her heart, she didn't want him to go, but didn't want to appear needy. She dove into the pool. It was lovely and warm, and the sunshine dappled on her shoulders and back. It was heavenly. She swam for an hour and felt like $1 million and looked it. When she came dripping out of the pool, she was relaxed. She spent the rest of the afternoon sketching the scenes before her and adding embellishments from her imagination, which was limitless. The time flew by, and before she knew it, she had sketched 4 or 5 scenes of the cobbled, multicolored streets, and she was pleased. She couldn't wait to show them to Alf as she lay down for her siesta. When he returned, he had more good news for her. He'd found a buyer for some of the sketches. He had a friend of his with an interest in art. He was going to pay her €300 for each painting. To some people it wasn't much, but to her it was priceless. We'll have to celebrate with champagne tonight, said Alf. She smiled, and it was then that she knew they were going to be a couple. I'll have to finish the painting first, she said, laughing. It was then Alf had a great idea. I have a spare room for storage. Maybe you could paint in there, like a study. There's a small window for light and tiles on the floor, which can be covered so you can splash paint about. I don't mind. I'm not that bad, she said jokingly, but first help me carry my easel and paint pots. Alf obliged good naturedly. He sunbathed on the veranda as she got to work, and in the time it took him to get a mild tan, she'd finished. He marvelled at the paintings and congratulated her on her efforts. She was beaming with pride. She knew she was no Picasso, but wasn't far from Monet. On a good day, she joked. After cleaning herself up, they settled down for a night off watching TV. She let him take her in his arms as he showed her his love for her. They went to bed together, but they didn't make love. It was too special for that. She woke to the radio playing beautiful music and the birds twittering along. Is this a dream? She thought, but it was better than that. Alf kissed her on the cheek and headed for the bathroom. She had most of the day to look forward to, but it wasn't a burden, it was a pleasure. She packed her pencils and pad and headed for the beach. Alf promised to cook for her that night, a special treat. She smiled as his horn sounded as he pulled out of the driveway. She watched him driving away as the red sun bathed the mountains in its rosy glow, and with her pencils in her pocket and her hair tied back confidently, she set off towards a golden future and slammed the door on her past once and for all. After all, she was a survivor. The end.